Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Catherine and this is So Much Sewing. So Much Sewing, it's all about sewing. It's all about sewing for me mostly. It's my pattern adventures, my fitting adventures, fabrics, everything to do with sewing. And in fact today is a little bit different from my normal vlog, video, whatever we want to call it. It's actually part 2 in my series. Well, it's not really a series because there's only 2 parts to this, so it's not really a series, but this is part 2 of my New Zealand sewing pattern designers. Part 1 I did a few months ago and it contains some really well-known New Zealand sewing pattern companies that I see people talk about on YouTube a lot, all the time. Not everybody realises these companies are from New Zealand. Not everybody cares that they're from New Zealand, but I do. I really like seeing New Zealand companies showcased across YouTube. This batch of 6 New Zealand sewing pattern companies is much less well known. Oh, there's a couple of, more well known in there, I suppose, but mostly less well known. And so I just wanted to talk you through these companies, tell you a little bit about them, show you a few little examples of the patterns that they are producing. In the first vlog in this series, I attached video links to all the YouTubers who I had seen talking about these companies and patterns. This batch, I don't know of any YouTubers who have made up any of these patterns. So, there's one, sorry, So Do It Emma, who I will link down below when it's appropriate. She has made one of these patterns. So apart from that and myself, I've made a couple. I don't have any other examples of YouTubers who've discussed these patterns on their channels, but they're still really worthwhile talking about. They're great patterns and I just wanted to showcase them. I'm going to try and put an iCard up here or up here of my previous video where I talked about the first batch of well-known New Zealand pattern designer companies, but I don't have a very good track record with the whole iCard situation, so I'll definitely link that video below, and you never know, fingers crossed, I might be able to link it up here somewhere for you. I hope you will go and have a look at these companies when you have a moment. I know a lot of my New Zealand viewers will do so. Hopefully some of my overseas viewers will do so. I don't have any affiliations with any of these people. I've not got any deals or paid by them or anything like that. I just wanted to showcase our amazing New Zealand talent to my little corner of YouTube. The first company I will talk to you about is Hubba Patterns. You may have heard about Hubba because I recently made the Susie dress, which I am absolutely in love with, and there are now some other patterns that are on my wish list to make up from Hubba. I've got some information down here, so please excuse me looking down, but that's the reality. So Hubba have got some very funky modern patterns, I think. A lot of their designs are very oversized. They are not size inclusive, unfortunately, but because of the oversized nature of many of their patterns, I think if you fall outside of the size range, you may well find that these will fit you anyway. Their size range goes up to a bust of 122 centimetres, which is 48 inches, and the hip measurement at the largest is 127 centimetres or 50 inches. So as I say, not size inclusive, but the finished garment measurements are, more than that. They are very generous in their sizing. So check them out. If you do fall outside of those exact sizes, you may still find that there's something in there for you. I found the instructions for the Susie dress that I made were very simple to follow. It's a very simple pattern in general, but you know, the instructions were very clear. I think that they they say on their website that they are designed with beginners in mind, and certainly the dress pattern that I made up was very easy to follow, so potentially the rest of the patterns are like that as well, but I will keep you posted when I do eventually make another one of their designs. The next company is Muna and Broad. And Muna and Broad is a partnership between a New Zealand woman called Jess, and I think she might be an Australian living in Canada, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but her name is Leela. So Jess and Leela were online Instagram friends, and one thing led to another, and they decided to open a pattern designing company. So Jess is Fat Bobbin Girl on Instagram, and Layla is Layla Sews, and I believe Jess does all the sort of marketing and you know, that side of the business, and Layla produces the patterns. And so these patterns are specifically produced for plus size women. They start at a bust of 40 inches, which is 101 centimeters, and a hip of 41.75 inches, which is 106 centimeters. But they go up to a bust of 64 inches, which is 162.5 centimeters, and a hip of 71.5 inches, which is 181.5 centimeters. If you fall outside of that size range, they will grade up for you at no cost, which is amazing. So specifically designed for plus size women, although, you know, their starting size at 40 inches or 101 centimeters for the bust, you know, that's not tiny. So if you are a plus size person, and I include myself in that, because my bust is 109 centimeters and these patterns start at 101 centimeters, then check these patterns out. They are modern, they're funky, they're all the things we want at the moment. And so, yeah, go and have a look, see what you think. Now we move on to Trish Newbery. I have made the Cuddle Up cardigan twice, which I absolutely love. I have the delightful dress of hers, which I plan to make up. I plan to make it up. I plan to make so many things, but where does the time come from? I don't know. But Trish Newbery has a lot of really cool designs. She has some sort of, you know, standard sort of mainstream type designs, but she also has some pretty funky little numbers. Unfortunately, she is not size inclusive, although she does have a very small range of patterns that are fantastically sized. As an example, yeah, her very small range of plus size goes up to a bust of 67.5 inches, which is 171 centimeters, and a hip measurement of 71.5 inches, which is 182 centimeters. So that's amazing. But that's just a small number of patterns. Most of them are, you know, sort of standard sizing. I think up to a hip of about 127 centimeters or something like that. So that's a bit of a shame, but you know, who knows, perhaps she'll be doing more patterns in that new range as she puts more and more patterns online. Perhaps they will be in the new size range. She has got YouTube sew-alongs for an awful lot of her patterns, and so that's always really useful to go and have a look at a sew along while you're making a pattern. I would say that her patterns, while some of them might be beginner friendly, I would say that her instructions are not necessarily beginner friendly. They don't hold your hand, and I know that when I made the Cuddle Up cardigan, I did work my way through it, but I had to look at her YouTube video which also didn't really show me exactly the bit that I was stuck on. But you know, if you are a reasonably experienced seamstress, then you know you'll certainly have no issues with making her patterns up. I only have that experience with that one pattern. I managed it, and so I'm sure you will too. Next we have Below the Kowhai. A kowhai is a Māori word. It's a beautiful tree with amazing, gorgeous yellow flowers on it. A lot of the patterns from this company, probably most of them have got Māori names, such as Pahutakawa, which is another tree which is native to New Zealand, Tui, which is a bird that's native to New Zealand, Manuka, which is another native plant. So you might find it quite interesting looking at the Māori names of these patterns. This company has a range of patterns for the whole family. So there's everything for women, children, tweens, also unisex patterns. They've got some embroidery templates as well. There's some really cute things on this website. They're not hugely size inclusive for women, unfortunately, with a larger bust measurement of 125 centimetres, which is 49¼ inches, and a hip of 133 centimetres, which is 52 3/8 of an inch. So unfortunately not hugely size inclusive for women, but some really great basics for the whole family. Beautiful children's clothes, and those embroidery templates I think are just something quite special. So go and have a look at Below the Kowhai, and I'm sure you will find something that interests you there. Twig Tale is another company that is quite similar to Below the Kowhai, I would say, in the sort of style of patterns that they produce. They have got a range of men's, women's, children's, hats, lots of outerwear pieces, coats, capes, jackets, that sort of thing. And they've also got some really fun sort of what I would call fantasy items, fairy wings and that sort of thing for the children, and also for adults. They've got adult sizes in those as well. Now I have seen Emma from So Do It Emma talk about Twig Tale, because she made the what are they called, the Fernway Cullottes. So I'll link that video below if I can find it, because it was quite a long time ago that I saw that. But you'll see on the stock photo that I put up here, you'll see a picture of Emma in her culottes. So yeah, I just think they've got something for everybody, for each member of the family in there. I love the fact they've got so many outerwear patterns. So yeah, go have a look, see what you think. The last company I will mention is Liam Patterns. This company does sewing patterns, but they also have ready-to-wear clothing as well. Now the Liam patterns are quite size inclusive. They go up to a bust of 56 inches, which is 143 centimetres, and 61 inches, which is 155 centimetres for the hip. So not a bad size range there. They don't have a lot of patterns, but what they do have there is very modern and contemporary and funky. Their website talks a lot about the challenges they had, because their ready-to-wear items are produced in larger sizing as well, and also with their ready-to-wear items, if you fall outside of their size range, they will make it for you to your size, and I don't think they charge any extra for that, which I think is amazing. But their website does talk a lot about the challenges of grading up patterns for plus sizes, how the fact that you can't just grade it up and expect that it's going to fit. And I know from experience myself, buying plus size patterns, that often the arms are, hugely long, and things just don't fit properly because your bodies don't grade up. Just because you've got a little bit of extra weight, your body doesn't grade up evenly all across the body. So they talk quite substantially about the issues there, but how they are really dedicated to ensuring that they do produce patterns that actually fit a plus size person. So anyway, go and have a look at their website as well. I had been thinking about making their Leonie dress. So I think I'm actually going to give that a go. So that is another item on my list of patterns to make. I don't know when I'll get around to doing that, but you can be sure that I will keep you informed of when I actually do get around to doing that. So thank you for joining me again today. I appreciate you being here. If this is your first time here and you thought that was interesting, please click the like button, hit the notification bell, click subscribe, share my video, do all those things. Oh, I didn't tell you what I was wearing. This is a Vogue pattern. It did actually come up quite oversized, but I'll talk to you more about this pattern in my next video. It's fabric that I got from the fabric store here in New Zealand. I absolutely love it, but I'll talk to you more about it in the future. So yeah, that's really it for me today. Hopefully that was quite a short little video, and you didn't have to listen to me rabbit on for too long. But so yeah, thanks again for being here. I look forward to seeing you again. I hope you're well, I hope you're happy, and I hope you're getting loads and loads and loads of sewing done, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.